Away, 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 what it do, what it does, what it be. Welcome to this week's episode of So What's Popping with your girl, the real Nkosi. That is me, yes, that is I. Hey, I'm back, you guys. It's been a great week. We just came out of a long weekend where we celebrated Freedom Day and Workers' Day as well on a Monday. So, Minanji, I had a really long, nice weekend. I hope you guys also had the same because it's not nice when you have a weekend to rest and then you end up not resting because I know some of you like to go out. Yeah, boss. I hope you guys were able to take it easy. We've had so many long weekends actually this year. Is that how it usually is? I feel like I hardly notice. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. But yeah, Shame, I definitely felt this one because it was just so productive this time around. I know the other long weekends, normally I'm lazing and I'm just like chilling, doing nothing. Either I'm drinking wine or smoke weed every day, you know? But this time around, it was very, very nice. I did something that I made memories. I can say I made memories that I will forever cherish. And that is because I had my parents over. My sister bought a house late last year. I've been living there. Obviously, this is where I'm recording this from. So my parents came to see the house and bless the house. And it was just nice. We've never actually hosted our parents this side because I used to stay in Johannesburg before I moved to Pretoria. But we've never hosted our parents. They normally come here when they visit our other relatives in like 4 ways or whatever. But we've never had like an opportunity to like spend time with them and be like, okay, you're here for us. And so it was really nice to have them around. They were here for the whole of the long weekend. They arrived Thursday. And yeah, man, it was very, I know I wrote a post about this on my Instagram, but it was really genuinely a very wholesome experience for me. And I didn't know that it was something that I needed because when we got to spend time, some things came up, you know, the chats we were having and the sort of kind of bond that we shared. It just reminded me of when I was younger, and I haven't had that in a very, very long time because when I go home, I have a lot of nieces and nephews from my other siblings. So there's always just kids around. I just become occupied by the kids, and I hardly really get close to my parents, especially since we lost my brother, my younger brother. I haven't had time to just have that connection and bond with my parents because my dad is always going to his farm. He loves spending time there away from my mom, which is like, dude, come on. So my mom is always alone with the kids. Most of the time, she's just like watching TV, and there isn't much to do again in my hood. I'm from Pietermaritzburg, by the way, for those who don't know. I'm a proper Kasi girl. I'm a proper Kasi girl. And on that note, in fact, we don't even call it a Kasi, we call it Elokshin. We call it Elokshin. The Kasi thing is from Gauteng. But yeah, I'm a Kasi girl from a township called Imbali, Pietermaritzburg. I grew up there. I'm literally 100% a product of a Kasi. I grew up there. I went to school there from primary school to secondary to high school or whatever. And I only got to leave the township when I went to varsity, which is I moved to Durban. That's the first time that I got to experience freedom. Okay? But anyways, just growing up, Elokshini, I grew up indoors. My parents were very strict. We were not allowed to go out. My brothers were allowed to go out, but like the females, I could never have friends over, and that's only because I always had dogs. So that's why I'm a dog person. I grew up literally around dogs since I was a baby. There isn't a time that I remember in my life at home, growing up or as a teenager or whatever, where we didn't have dogs. So I'm used to dogs. I'm not afraid of dogs. Not pit bulls though. Like keep those away from me because I don't trust those. But yeah, like I'm a dog person. But nje like ngiyikasigel kahle kahle mina ngumuntu oselokishini. That is why like my Zulu is the way that it is. It's proper Zulu because 100%, even our English at school, English was taught in isiZulu, maths was taught in isiZulu, everything was taught in isiZulu, you know, which is another thing that people don't understand. Let me just also touch on this because I feel like this is the perfect time for me to clarify this. There's this thing that people like to say about us Zulu people from KZN, which, oh, I'm a Zulu, they don't want to learn our languages, they always like approach us with their language and like sort of kind of force it on us to speak isiZulu. And I was having this chat with my dad the other day, Yazi, it's so weird to me how people don't see the fact that they understand isiZulu and other languages, that is like such a unique thing for you. And instead of you focusing on the fact that if a Zulu person comes to you and they speak isiZulu, and let me tell you why also before I get to this, the reason we do that is because the only language we know, unfortunately, is only that one language, isiZulu, because in KZN, there's no one that speaks, there's only a minority of people that speak other languages, let me put it that way. So the language that dominates is isiZulu, hence it's called KwaZulu Natal. You know, it's like people from Lesotho, they speak isiSotho, and then when they move this side, they struggle with the Zulu. Stuff like that. It's the same thing with us as well. Yes, the arrogance thing, that stereotype, I'm not going to get into that because, you know, that's a topic for another day. Every tribe has its stereotype, and I don't want to like dwell on stereotypes and like discredit or like confirm them or whatever. But anyways, that's why again the only thing we know how to speak is isiZulu. Okay, that's the first thing I want to clarify. So instead of looking at it in the way you're going to, oh, when a Zulu person comes to me, they're speaking isiZulu, you're forcing me to speak isiZulu because you're being cocky or you're being arrogant or you're being stubborn to learn other languages. It's not easy to learn another language when you become an adult. And I'm not saying that it's everyone that struggles, but I'm just saying for some of us, it's not that easy. I know a bit of Tswana now and I can hear it. Sometimes I can hear some words in Tswana, but I can't respond in Tswana, but I can understand it. And it's so because I grew up in our neighbors back home in Pietermaritzburg was Sotho, so we were exposed to like Sotho when I was growing up. But it's that thing, like instead of like being negative and saying, oh, I'm a Zulu, look at it in the way you're going to focus on yourself in terms of see the fact that when at least you know how to speak isiZulu, you know, instead of being quick to label people as, oh, you're just being arrogant, just be more understanding. That's the only language we know. And sometimes it just comes naturally to speak your home language. I don't think, I'm not saying, I'm not defending all Zulus because yes, of course, some of them they're stubborn and they have this rude stereotypes about people from other tribes. That one I agree because I've also like experienced it. I think people are close-minded because of we just grew up in KZN, and some people they don't want to be accepting of other tribes and respecting of other tribes' cultures and ways of life and just how people speak in general and being exposed and exposing yourself or making the effort to understand or learn someone's language. That is a thing that Zulu people do. I acknowledge it. I'm not going to defend that. And I'm not saying all of us, but I'm just saying I am aware of it since I was a KZN and I'm from KZN, but now I'm a Pretoria Han. Ngwana wa Pitori, king ngwana wa Pitori. How about saying it right? But now that I'm a Gauteng Han, I've been able to see the differences and sometimes can compare the two. Oh yeah, people from KZN tend to do this. People who grew up, the Zulu people who grew up in Gauteng tend to be like this or speak like this. Those sort of things I'm able to pinpoint and see like sort of like the differences in how we are as just different tribes and just according to the environment we grew up in. Anyways, another thing is that thing we don't speak proper English. Zulu people don't speak proper English. This is why, and we also have a lot of rural areas in KZN and also our townships as well. Not all of us were blessed with money to be able to go to Model C schools. My dad has 5 children. Well, he has 6 because I have a half sister. But he at home, there's 5. I have 5 of us. Well, I'm the 5th. Well, there's my big brother, there's my sister that I live with, there's my other sister, then it's me, and then it's my late little brother, you know. So I have like 4 siblings, but I'm like the 5th. So I'll just say I have 5. There's 5 of us. So imagine having 5 kids, and then my dad was the only breadwinner, and then it's like now he can't be taking all of us to Model C schools as much as he would, because we did speak about it as well. Because like it would have been nice if I could have like been able to afford to take you guys to these good schools. I feel like you would have like achieved greater things in life because I can see how ambitious you guys are, and just like the fact that we grew up going to township schools, we were not really exposed to much, especially with me being a creative. My dad saw me growing up, this one is a creative, and he did try at some point to like take me from the school that I was going to, Amazulu High School, and put me in a Model C school, but at the time he just could not afford to do that, because everything like I said, he was the breadwinner. My mom was a full-time housewife. Because of him, he told her to stop working. So please, you must make sure that your wife is taken care of. But like, so that's why even with my English, guys, I have to dig deep within to make sure that you guys understand what I'm saying. So if I do make mistakes, excuse me, I am a Kasi girl 100%, okay? 100% a Kasi girl. Okay? My English is the best I can do. Okay, so I apologize if it's not good enough for you. And unfortunately, I will be mixing with a bit of Zulu. In fact, today I have a section where it's just only Zulu, and I'll try and put subtitles on the videos if I get the time, but I doubt I'll be able to do that. But anyways, moving on. So another interesting thing that happened, so while my parents were here, I was honored because they agreed. In fact, they offered. I didn't even like force it on them. Like my mom was like, my mom is such a cool person, you know, like, hey, guys, like I didn't know that my mom was this cool. Like I knew she's like, you know, she likes things and whatnot, but I didn't know she's like so willing to try like things that I think that's, you know, not about things that are illegal, because like my products are not illegal. Oh, my products are not illegal, please. But I didn't think my parents would be like willing to try like cannabis and things like that. And my mom, normally she does drink wine, but my dad, as far as my mom is concerned, my dad is not aware. My dad doesn't know that my mom drinks wine, but she drinks wine now and then when she's out. My parents don't normally. My mom doesn't normally drink, but my parents in J2, they don't drink, they don't smoke. Especially my dad. My dad is very like strict on those things. Like I grew up, but there was no alcohol around me growing up. There was no use of drugs or like anything, except for my grandfather or my mom's dad. He used to smoke cigarettes, so I was exposed to that. But other than that, my dad didn't smoke anything. My father was just a clean man. But if you've seen his vinyl collection on my Instagram, you will see, because you can tell by looking at that collection, you could see this man was a proper pothead. He cannot hide it. He cannot lie about it. Did he not see when you were watching the news the other day, he saw Ingane, Peter Tosh's daughter, I think she was being honored, or her dad was being honored, and she was collecting some award there via President Ramaphosa, excuse my language. And then my dad jumped up and was like, oh, that's Peter Tosh's daughter. Oh, I know Peter Tosh. Okay, he doesn't speak. He's like, hey, Peter Tosh. Hey, how's it going to Peter Tosh? How get Mars? Hey. Mom was like, ah, Peter Tosh. I'm like, oh, okay. Taking you back to them days when you used to, you know, smoke them greens, daddy. I see you. I see you. So yeah, Shem, they tried my product and they did get high. They got high. I got to see my parents high. Guys. 2 days in a row. Like I was like, okay, the first night I just was like, let me hoy and see if they're gonna dollar this thing. And then my mom is always willing. She's always willing. And then she knows how to like motivate my dad to get into it. She's like, oh yes, we can try this chocolate because I see you just launched a new product. They've tried the butter before. I took it home. They tried it. But the thing about my dad is he's in denial. You know, he's a tough cookie. He's in denial. You can never get like an honest review from him because it's going to act like, you know, it doesn't work. It did nothing to me. So with the butter, when I took it home, the dad was like, this thing is not working. It did nothing to me. So then I was like, but I knew it works because, you know, like I know it works. So I was like, okay, it's a challenge. I take it as a challenge. And then I can see via my mom's reaction, it was, Dad is definitely, when he's saying that he's not high, he's definitely high. And then I can see his eyes and I'm like, he just wants me to give him more. So he did the same thing here. I gave him the chocolate. My mom was already laughing here. About like 15 minutes later, because it kicked in, the chocolate kicks in very fast as an edible. I don't know why, but it kicks in very fast, faster than the other products that I have from just my experience. So 15 minutes, they're high. My mom is laughing, they're chilling here. And I feel like they were willing to try that because they were in a safe space. You know, they are with their children. The area's safe. My dad finally doesn't have that pressure of being at home and being like the security, you know, guarding his house and his kids and you know, everything, just being the head of the family. So at least by visiting here, he felt a bit more relaxed, I think, and then that's why he was more open to trying new things and experiencing, not necessarily new things. I would just say just open to trying things that he maybe used to do when he was younger. Then he stopped because, like, honestly, I've never seen my dad high or like seen him drinking ever. So clearly he did maybe stop those things at some point, because sometimes there are stories about how he mentions alcohol, but it doesn't say I drank it, or like he normally says your uncle or, you know, someone was drinking and then wada, and then they got drunk. But obviously I'm sure now he does drink. He just doesn't want to tell us those stories because maybe he feels like he's gonna influence us, but I'm already the bad influence. I was born a bad influence. So then I had to get them high and I gave them a glass of wine. And my dad was also even willing to drink. He drank a glass of wine, you guys. You know how we sip wine? My dad was like, oh, this thing is gonna do nothing to me. I was like, damn, he just downed the chocolate. Yeah, they downed the chocolate and then he downed the wine and then he was chilling there. And then he has this thing he likes to do when I can see he's now getting high. I think he likes to be alone when he's high. Then he was like, yeah, let me go take a nap. Well, like why every time you say my products don't work, then you go and you take a nap. My mom just stayed here with us laughing and all that stuff. But it was genuinely like so heartwarming for me to see my parents finally just being able to relax. And as much as they are like older now, but it's nice to sometimes, guys, indulge and allow yourself to just feel izinto zomhlaba. Like, like if you want to have a glass of wine, have a glass of wine. It doesn't mean that you're a drunkard. It doesn't mean that you have to drink it every day, but it's nice to just try new things. So they got away from home, got away from the Logishini, got away from the township for a while, chilled here with us, and we had a lovely time. It was, oh my God. Let me link to these videos. Let me check out these videos these interviews that I did with my parents, where I asked them a few questions. We were just chilling at the park, and I decided here in Mooikloof, and I decided, let me just ask them a few questions, things that I've been curious about, of course. And some words of advice for my parents. My mom was very excited to do this, you guys. I've never seen my mom like light up like that. I didn't even expect that she would be this excited about it. She's so proudly Nkandla also, by the way. She's very proudly Nkandla. But check out those interviews that I did with my parents. Let's do it. Okay, I'm outside now with my dad. I'm starting with my dad, and then I'm going to go with my mom. The sun is hot, but we're going to do this. Okay, Baba?
Yeah.
Introduce Ubad Waguphi.
Oh, ngathi mina nguJohannes
Ubhekele ngiphathi baba.
Uzithi nguJohannes. Nkosi, Marisburg.
Ukhulele phi?
Ngikhulele ngotsha.
Uyazibuza leyo uyaziphendula leyo.
Ngikhulele ngotsha. Yeah, Losberg.
Oh, then guy this year.
66 years.
Uqinisile no?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, sicela ungitshela ukuthi yini oyibonayo manje nje eyenzakalayo ehlukile compared to wena indlela okhule ngayo. Indlela thina esikhula ngayo ubone ngathi ihlukile mhlambe. Ekuxakayo nje.
Ezwe njengamanje.
Ngathi nje ingane zakho indlela compared to wena how you grew up wena usamncane.
Cha phela mina ngithole ithuba ngithole ithuba ngikwazi ukufunda. Mina ngangikhathi ingoma ngangikwazi ukufunda.
Wagcina grade bakade.
Bani?
Esikoleni.
Hawu mina ngazi JC.
Wazi ini?
Ngazi JC.
Oh, standard.
Yeah.
That's my sister in the background. Wagcina standard. And then
JC bamazi badala uthini?
Because it's in JC.
Nakho.
Because it's JC baba uchaze.
Bayazi bakho JC uthini?
Hey, just abagugile ibona abaziyo ngoba manje angikwazi bila uJC. Okay, ngicela ukwazi ukuthi wahlangana laphi noma
Imbali.
Istory nje uqala ukumbona.
Ngahlangana nayimbali.
Wawenzani uhamba?
Angisakhumbuli ke lapho ngangihamba noma njalo. Kanti njalo ngani manje?
Ngizama ukushukumisa ingqondo ukuthi ikhumbule into zakudala.
Awundaba eBravo sasemnyama ngangikhumbula ngilapha.
Usakhumbuli?
Ntwana, ngingaki iminyaka.
Okay, now umbuzo lo.
Ngingaki iminyaka hle swabe nje manje.
Ngila kabi phela ngitshela wena. Over 35 angithi, over 35 years married.
Yeah.
Oh, siyabonga.
Okay,
now umbuzo mina ngabe uyakhumbula lo mbuzo kumele ukhumbule lo mbuzo lo. Ngiyawudinga. Answer yalento. Khathi ngizalwa wawulaphi? Wawenzani?
Zala wena.
Ngosuku kuzala yabo ukuthi uyakhumbula.
Ngangisemsebenzini mina.
Hey! Wakuzange ngibone khathi ngizala.
Cha, thina sesiwatheke isikitha sikwezi lokho. Wayesibhedle bhoza lesibhedle bozala ngekhaya.
Oh, manje wongayo njengomuntu osilisa esibhedlela mabe.
Lento leyo ibuya kanikeza ukuthi senziwe abantu abahamba obumuntu ebelethe besakwazi. Siqala manje. Into eqala manje ngale sasazi. Ngangisemsebenzini nje ngizese.
Something new that I didn't know.
Sesibhedle ukuthi hayi uba setetile ukuthi.
Oh.
Hayi nje ngamazi uthiwa kunina hayi umuntu hamba hayi sesakwenza lokho.
Okay, asicela usinike advice nje. Yini advice ongayinika intsha?
Inhlonipho. Nokwazi imvelaphi yakho ukuthi uvelaphi.
Yebo.
Nokuqhubeka ufunde phela ukuze ukwazi ukuthi ube namathuba.
Kumele phambili yebo. Hayi, siyabonga ke. Silanda umakoti wakho ke manje simuze sizothini meke imbuzo.
Umlobokazi.
Yebo, sikhwama.
Oh. Umlobokazi sondele. Namntu uphanda kancane umlobokazi.
Okay, siyabonga. All right, now I'm with my mommy. Njani?
Siyaphila.
Cela uzintroduce ukuthi ubani nokuthi ukhulelephi.
Mina ngumama ogane Nkosi owakhulela eNkandla wazayela eNkandla. Igama lakhe uyalishona igama yini bakithi?
Nangibaba yethi Nkandla. Yebo negama lakho phela yabo.
Igama lami
Abakwaziyo.
nguvelisile kodwa ke ebalezile ekhaya bathi nguSidudla. Ngazalwa kuSidudla ekhaya ngasho ngangimkhulu. Yabona kodwa ngazalwa ekhaya abalaziyo kakhulu bathi uSidudla.
Oh, wawumkhulu vele wawunomzimba nje. Nyathela ngabantwana.
Yebo. Kodwa ngizalwe nje kuthiwa nguSidudla.
Ayi.
Base ngivela lebo velisiwe Glory eHwatha esikoleni and bengibuye ngikhohlwa nasesikoleni ukuthi ngubani uGlory.
Hawu.
Mangibizwa ngihlayela ngilazi lo gama ngiyakhohlwa.
Oh.
Kodwa ke ngase ngigana kaNkosi ke. Ngizayelwe eNkandla ke mina.
Yebo ke abamaziyo sebeyambona.
Edlolwane.
Ayi.
Isikole ngafunda kusi primary sedlolwane primary school. Isitolo sakithi kaDolwane.
Ayibo.
Isibhedlela ke isibhedlela sakithi sekhombe hospital. Isibhedlela leso ke sethu.
Yes.
Baba mfuthu wayesebenza ekhombe naye esibhedlela.
Yebo ke.
Ubhuti wami undawo Dladla.
Yawu
Yena
bakithi.
wayesebenza kwi-forest kuthiwa kaMahlathi.
Yebo.
Sasibabili ke vele.
Abazaziyo ke lezi ndawo bayasho manje uthi ngiyabazi labantu.
Yebo, sasibabili ke ekhaya.
Yebo.
Mina ke indawo ke kumfowethu omdala mina omncane kodwa ngavela kude le ngavela ngo61. Yebo ngakhula ke
Awu hayi umlando omuhle kangaka. Awusitsheleke nje ubushadele kaNkosi ke waba nezingane ezinhle kanje njengami nje bangifresh. Wahlangana lapho baba. Like wawenzani like nize niqala ukubonana nje.
Ngidlonye nje yena ekhaya komama kaMkhize kuNkankane Road imbali. Ngayibona lensizwa ke. Opposite nasekhaya kaMkhize. Insizwa yaseNgoje. Yebo ke. Yawabeka kwasho ukuthi hayi ayagcwala. Ngayithatha ngayithatha ngimuka nayo ke ekugcina. Ngizithole lezi ngane.
Size siqhamuke ke nathi ke nje. Hawu nisibona nje siphelele.
Yebo.
And then yini mhlawumbe ngathi uma uyibona manje ehlukile indlela thina esikhule ngayo compared to le ndlela yona wawukhule ngayo.
Hayi isinkulu kakhulu ngoba isikhathi samanje indlela sakhona ngayo thina sasihlonipha. Uhlonipha omdala nomncane kodwa nje inkinga enkulu bathi ukuhlonipha akusekho manje thina sasihlonipha ke thina ekhaya umuntu omdala nje maye ubaba ukuthi owaphi noma kaMkhize noma wakaDladla noma owaphi besilonke nje kuubaba maye ubhuti wethu sonke thina endaweni yethu eNkandla nje umuntu nje waseNkandla ubhuti.
Yebo
nje sahlonipha ngalokho ukuthi intsha yamanje hayi inhlonipha ngathi ayisekho.
Yebo hayi that is true mhlawumbe ngoba kugcwele no social media abantu sebezenzela umathanda.
Yebo
hayi kunzima kodwa mina ngiyahlonipha ngithi
sikaba namalungelo abanye basahlonipha vele abanye so kodwa nje
mina kunjani
nawu right uyahlonipha ngoba waze sibone ungahloniphi angazi ke phela uhamba khona.
Hayi bayazi nabo vele uthi nje inhloniphi igama lami into engiphila ngayo
sesibona inhloniphi ukuthi ikhona ekhaya.
Yebo
Singazi phela sihambe naye ingane uhambe nengane momdala ngaye kwayiphikela awazi la ihamba khona.
Yebo okay and then yini advice ongayinika nje umuntu omusha njengamanje nje?
Ngamnika nje ukuthi into ebalekela ukuhlonipha. Mawuhlonipha nje yonke into yakhe ihambela kahle.
Yebo
ubazi abantu abadala ubazi ihlobo zakho ungazexwayi ihlobo zakho nje uyithande nazo. Lokho nje ngabanika konke hayi noma singasekho emhlabeni kodwa ihlobo zakho ungayibalekeli. Uzazi ihlobo ukuthi nangu balomvuka nangu makathetho nangu masithole nangu makabhamu uyabona nje uyazi ukuthi ihlobo zami lezo nasekhaya eNgoje yazi ukuthi bakhona omkhulu uBhonyela bakhona omkhulu ubazi bonke omalume naseNgoje siyabathanda.
Yebo
Kakhulu.
Awu mndeni
Kakhulu,
wethu
kakhulu, kakhulu.
bakithi.
Yebo,
Yeah.
yebo, yebo, siyabonga.
Oh, hi, siyabonga. There you have it from the queen herself, my mommy. It's a wrap. You know, I miss my parents. But yeah, they traveled safely. They're back home now. Yes, I'm so curious. What is JC, guys? Because my dad, like, I don't know, like, I know they say it's standard, but my dad only said abadabadala, like people who like elderly people should know what, or rather people of his age group, elderly people, they should know. They know what JC means, but like I'm sure they're not part of my audience, so I don't know what JC means. So if you know, please write me a comment there or leave me a voice note and let me know what JC is, or go ask one of your parents, and then maybe they can give me some feedback on what JC is. Mina ngazi standard and grade, That is all I know. Oh yeah, by the way, now that I'm high, yeah, I'm gonna be very, very slow. At the same time, I have load shedding coming up. I'm in a tricky situation. Anyways, you guys, but yeah, that's the video. Those are my parents. I will transcribe what they're saying. That's the best I can do because I can't put subtitles. I don't have the time. They take so much time. I don't have the time to do subtitles, but I will transcribe that video that is in Zulu. They meet my parents, and then I'm gonna put that in the description. I think there is a description here underneath this video, and you can check out how the interview went in English. So yeah, you guys, yeah, it's so crazy how they both mentioned respect, and it just resonated with me because like I just felt like sometimes I don't pay attention. We don't pay attention as the youth nowadays to how we talk to elderly people and how we treat people in general, and how we also just communicate in like our language is so vulgar and so rough nowadays. Sometimes even when you're speaking to your parent or your aunt or whoever, or just like a random elderly person in the streets, we don't show respect. It's like small things like that. We need to watch how we speak. We need to watch how we say it, our tone rather. We need to watch what we say and who we say it to. You can't speak to your friends the same way you speak to your parent, for example. So yeah, man, we need to be respectful of abantu abadala. That is the advice from my parents, who I love so much. Okay, maybe now we should let's check out our snack corner, because I'm getting the munchies, and I'm better when I'm eating. When I get high, I'd rather eat something so that I'm not like distracted, because I feel like I just become like distracted. I want to be distracted rather. I just become so, when I focus on one thing, I just overthink it, and then I tend to like lose my train of thoughts like I'm about to right now. Okay, let's check out what we have in the snack corner. What do we have today? Oh, yes. In the spirit of Nkosi, the spirit of Ubuntu, the spirit of Lokshin lifestyle, the spirit of the township living. Today, our snack is ukwe. What is ukwe called? It's cookies in English, but this is the kasi kwe that we eat, or we grew up eating. Tina, who went to school in the hood, or people just live, they will live in the townships. They sell this in those tuck shops that we have there in the Kasi. We also have the street vendors. You find it there, you buy it there for about 2 rand. It used to be about 2 rand. Nowadays, the prices have gone up even there because people need to survive, right? People are hustling. So these amaskopas, I think, or popcorn, but these sort of snacks, the ghetto snacks, we call them ghetto snacks, right? Bon Fries. I'm not a Bon Free though, but I'm a ghetto snacks. See, they're really nice. I enjoy them. They just like remind me of like back in the days when I was in school. I used to like eat them a lot, and people used to say, "Oh, or you get a rash." Never, ever, ever, never, ever. Even when they had makayeni back in the days, the chocolate one. I'll try to insert a picture here for those who are watching the video on this podcast. Uko slow na. Umakayeni is the chocolate. Pomfok. I used to love pomfok. But like, it's hot. Like it's like how I envision my Cheetos to taste like, because I've never had Cheetos, right? Those American ones, the hot ones. Yeah. Anyways, so that's that. That's what we're having this week. Oh man, I just thought of something. I just thought of the time when I had my first kiss in my kasi. Hey guys, but let me know I didn't date in high school because my dad was very strict. So I was like, always focused because I didn't want to like get into trouble. I didn't date. I liked a lot of boys though. Woo! I had like 3 crushes, and I kissed one of them. My first kiss was. I remember it was the day after in a matric, we wrote our last exams. And I was walking with my friends back home. And I had planned, because I already knew by the time I'm moving to Durban to start my first year at DUT. So I had this plan in my head. I'm like, yeah, I've always wanted boys. And now when I go to Durban, I'm going to kiss all the boys that I like. In my head, I was like excited, but I'm like, I don't know how to kiss. So that means maybe I should kiss someone here before I leave. So it was like in the back of my head the entire time, but I didn't plan my first kiss. What happened was I was walking with my friends back from school after writing that paper. I can't remember what paper it was, but like we were in a chilled mood, after you sign amasheti and all those things. We were walking back, and then this guy, I don't know how, how guys in the hood after school, the ones who like to kiss girls, it's either they leave school late because they want to stay around and kiss the girls, or they leave they leave school early so that they can go stand in the corners. Stand in the corners and wait for all the girls that they like to walk past, and then because they know which routes their crushes are gonna be taking. So guys used to like walk around. Anyways, I used to notice that because I like boys. So yeah, I've been to my crushes standing there. One of my crushes, clean boy. Hey, but he was very slow. Hey, that one. Anyways. Beautiful lips. He used to like have this thing where he would like eat lollipops. He was very clean, wearing like he would wear like a blazer, and like polished, clean shoes. His hair was proper. But apparently he used anyways, let me not just in case people who are watching this will know who I'm talking about, my friends. Let me not say anything. I almost said with what product he used to use on his face, allegedly. Anyways, yeah, that guy is standing there with his friends. They're looking fresh. I'm like, yeah, he's cute. So then he asked to like talk to me, and then we stood there, we spoke, and then next thing he was like, can I kiss you? I think. And then anyways, we didn't need to know the full details, but then we kissed. And then I was so afraid that because one of the guys that lived by my house saw me kissing this boy. It was my first kiss. Obviously, I didn't know what I was doing, but then I was nervous as well because I'd never like been seen with a boy. Out there. So I was afraid that like people are gonna see me and they're gonna tell my parents. I was so paranoid, guys. I was like a good girl, but handsome wife material right now. Anyways, and then after I kissed him, I felt so guilty. So I couldn't even enjoy the kiss because afterwards I felt like everyone was looking at me actually. And then I felt so guilty afterwards. Shit, I kissed a boy, even though I'm done with school, because my dad was always like, you must focus on school, like he's big on education and all that stuff. So I didn't want to like be seen with a boy and get into trouble. That's why. So when I finally kissed a boy, I felt bad that I kissed a boy, even though I was not in school anymore. I felt bad. But anyways, yeah, that was my first kiss. And then I moved to Durban. And then I'm kissing all the time. Ooh, Aisha, varsity was nice. Anyways, that's a topic for another time. Okay, guys, it was so good to finally come here. And I feel like I'm starting to enjoy this podcast thing. If you're watching on the video, that's if I still have power on that battery. I'm expecting load shedding, still waiting. But yeah, guys, it's been like really nice for me to come and make time for this podcast. And I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I love seeing my family, my parents, and yeah, man, now I have to go and exercise, but I'm very lazy because I'm like, smoke weed every day. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you next time. I will be posting again, like I said, it's going to be 1 episode a week for now. Maybe after that, then when I'm done with work, which is very soon, then I'm going to get into doing it maybe twice a week because I really enjoy talking to you guys. Yeah. But anyways, thank you so much, and I'll catch you next time. Goodbye. God bless. Be respectful, respect your elders. Don't forget, get high every day, smoke weed every day. Don't smoke it every day because your brain's gonna crack. Okay, bye.